Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my morning walk. We're going to talk about boundaries today. Isn't this a beautiful wall? The property owners just took such great care to build this beautiful wall. It goes all along the front of their property and down a very long driveway, and it is just magnificent. I always look at it and think of its beauty, but there is one thing that I noticed this year that I had not noticed in past years, and this is really what takes us to boundaries, is if you look over the wall, let me get a little closer, they've actually had to anchor it. They have numerous very heavy straps, cords, whatever word I'm looking for, that run and then are anchored into the ground. So if we look from a distance, it's this beautiful wall. But when we look closer, we can see that it's actually in danger or has been in danger of falling over. So this is what I want to talk about with boundaries, with walls. They are necessary. There are certain places in our lives where we need to have these walls. Notice there's a place you can get through right there. There's a stump in the way. And we can build these beautiful, elaborate walls. The problem is if they're anchored to our pain, our unforgiveness, our anger, it's like having a house that's built on the sand. It's not going to stand. It's not going to last. And we can even try to reinforce those anchors, but it's not a healthy wall. It might look beautiful. It might look amazing. We can even justify it in so many ways because we don't want to get hurt again. But you see, the Lord has promised to be our strong tower, our place of refuge, our shield. He's promised to give us wisdom. And so we need to learn to be anchored in Him. And with that, that wall gets built from Him. So what we do is we go and we deal with our issues, okay? We deal with our areas of forgiveness. We deal with our anger. We deal with our shame. We deal with the false identity. We deal with the false belief system. And then what happens is the Lord comes in. And if there needs to be a boundary, it's going to be built from a place of health. It's going to be built from a place of godly standards. It's going to be built from a place of trusting that God will protect us. And then from that place of godly wisdom, because we're leaning into Him, the wall, I love what somebody said, I forget who it was, but they said when we build the boundaries God's way, it enables us to adjust the boundary to the season, which means that the boundary can open up and create a way through when in a healthy season. But also if it's a season that would really harm us, it allows that wall to stand at the proper height for the season. And I just really thought about that because that is the whole story of walking with the Lord through and in a world that's full of dysfunction, imperfect families. So rather than becoming part of this whole cancel culture or divorcing our families, our friends, things like that, what we do is we learn to walk within that. And again, rather than anchoring to the pain, to the unbelief, to the failures, to the anger, we deal with our stuff, we deal with our portion of it, which then allows the boundary, if there needs to be one, to be a really healthy one that comes out of love and respect for God and His attributes and His law, rather than being based on our own perceptions, our own pain, our own sorrow. So I hope that makes sense. It's something that I just keep thinking about as I'm out here walking. Every time I pass this wall, I'm asking the Lord, okay, Lord, are there any boundaries that I've put up that are not of you? Are there any boundaries that I have put up? It's that I have. And Lord, I give you permission to reveal those because I want to take them down. And Lord, if there needs to be a boundary, if there needs to be a wall, I ask you to be the one that gives the wisdom, you to be the one. Because even as I see this mortar joint here, I mean, they tried to repair there. And again, that's what we try to do. You know, we try to go in and do all this stuff to keep ourselves safe. Where really it is only through the Lord that we're kept safe. It's only through his wisdom that we're kept safe. It's only through his protection. And so we have to learn to do things differently. So my encouragement to you, just as I walk by this every, or when I take this route, I walk by this particular wall and I'm like, okay, Lord, where have I built the wall, or where is it incorrectly anchored? Take some time today and just ask him to reveal that. And taking down a boundary or a wall can feel really, really scary in the moment. Of course it can. Isn't this beautiful? Of course it can feel very scary because it's different. It changes things. But believe me, when God goes, and if there needs to be this boundary, he builds it, he establishes it, he gives the wisdom, he guides us through it. It's actually a very strong boundary because it's anchored on the rock. And there's, again, a great freedom that comes with that. It doesn't become this thing that holds us captive or that we have to keep trying to anchor. We lean into him and he brings that wisdom and that clarity. So anyways, that's a word for today. Just wanted to share it with you. I pray that whatever you're doing today, that you see the Lord, that you see his hand, that he is here, that he is with you, that his presence would be tangible, that you would be encouraged and know that you are not alone. You are dearly loved and you are here for